Hi, everybody. Welcome. And it's me, Decaf Jedi, and I am back tonight with more Gray Matter. That's right. We're playing more of Jane Jensen's point and click supernatural mystery, Gray Matter, with all of its twists and its turns and its magic and its multiple protagonists. And speaking of multiple protagonists, tonight we are back with the Dr. David Stiles episode. That's right, the mad scientist in the Phantom of the Opera mask. Get ready for brooding. That seems to be what his chapters are all about. He's brooding his lost wife, Laura. I can't wait to see where that goes next. I imagine it will be very steeped in despair. So get ready for that. But welcome in. I hope everybody's doing well. I've been enjoying this game so far, and I'm really glad you could join me as I play through it. And welcome to everybody watching this later on YouTube. Glad to have you here too. Be sure to like and subscribe. Goodness gracious. I just hate the way those words sound when I say them, yet I say them anyway. Here we are, jumping into chapter 5 of Gray Matter. Up to this point, again, what's going on? David Stiles, this mad scientist who lost his wife in a tragic accident years ago, is conducting some sort of experiments to break on through to the other side and make contact with her again. There have been some signs that perhaps her ghost maybe is haunting his mansion here on Dread Hill Manor or whatever it's called. It's got a great, very gothic sounding name. Meanwhile, in the other chapters, we've been playing as street magician Sam Everett, who is posing as his research assistant. She sort of let herself into his life under false pretenses and continues to do her thing, trying to get into something called the Daedalus Club and just kind of taking part in his weird experiences and experiments.
Laura used to brush her hair every night before bed.
You know, it's typical adventure game stuff. I can't wait to see what happens next.
I read the driest science books I can find, but not even that can put me to sleep at night.
Everything David's going to say this episode will be kind of depressing, so get ready. See what's going on in his closet. It's a dress bag.
Laura's dress.
Yes.
Could Laura herself have taken it? Now I really am going mad.
Ooh, is the dress
Laura's
missing?
white dress.
The white dress is missing. So last chapter, Sam saw a mysterious woman wandering around the manor that did match Laura's description, which is to say she was blonde and breathtakingly beautiful. So maybe someone's stolen the dress, or maybe Laura's back and she just wanted to wear a dress. Either way. Either old way. I like that we get this close up. It's good stuff. Video games can tell immersive stories. Like that one where he just looked at a mirror.
I don't need a towel.
Such confidence.
There's nothing in there now. Was Laura really here this morning? I can almost picture Laura in that tub. She loved hot baths.
Who didn't? Who doesn't?
Those are mine.
You have to get all braggy about it, Mr. Product. All right, let's explore around a little bit. Or let's just go back into the same room because I don't know how doors work. I've been having an exciting weekend. I'm currently grappling with kidney stones, so that's exciting.
One of my ancestors salvaged
Everybody wants to hear
pieces
about
from a
that.
burned cathedral and installed them in Dread Hill House. Laura wanted to clean some of it out, but she never got the chance.
So if you see me doubled over in pain at any point during the stream, don't be alarmed.
Spare rooms. Sam's room.
That's just normal streaming stuff nowadays.
Laura looked so elegant in that portrait.
Hey, Kevin, good to see you. Touch any swimsuits today? Not yet. Let's see. Hard to say what I'm supposed to be doing on any given day. I personally just like to wander around and just click on everything. That's right, senor. It's important to get full transparency in a stream like this. I don't want to hold anything back.
It's Indonesian. It's supposed to protect the house against bad spirits.
Thanks, 6-7. You know, I had these about a year and a half ago too, and I don't think so far they're severe this time, but what a
silly,
unpleasant
Laura was very
experience.
proud of those diplomas. Glad I kept them. Silly. That's my...
Hope everybody's doing well this evening. Good to see you. That's right. Any pain that we experience could just be David's ghost trauma. A lot of ghost trauma that David's suffering from.
There are sufficient funds in...
I guess we probably don't need to go through these again. He doesn't seem to have any clever comments. Let's go see if Mrs. Potts is here.
Good morning. How was your breakfast?
Fine. Is Samantha in?
She's at university. Would you like me to call her?
Actually, I prefer not to be disturbed. If she comes in, tell her that, will you?
Of course.
Can't even talk to Mrs. Potts. I've renamed her Mrs. Potts. Stella's no fun. You can tell David is the afterthought protagonist because he barely has any inventory. When you're doing multiple protagonists in a game, the most important protagonist is the one carrying the most stuff around at any given time. No more eggs. We've been cut off from eggs. The game's just decided we don't need eggs anymore. How many actresses in England make a stable living being Lansbury-like? I mean...
Laura's paintings of Timmins Park.
I've got to figure that is
Laura's
a big
paintings
industry.
of Timmins Park. Laura's paintings of Timmins Park. Laura's paintings of Timmins Park. Laura's...
Shout out to a person I went to college with, Cammie Timmins. Not sure if it related in any way to Timmins Park, but haven't thought about Cammie in a long time. Hope you're well, Cammie. I'm sure you're watching. I'm sure everyone I went to college with tunes into these streams. So it's happening in our main lab.
I don't need to look anything up, right?
Well, you think there'd be more blueberries here if this is the main lab? Probably could have come up with a better one than that. That's not my best work. Sorry, gang. I'm off my game tonight.
Laura.
It's the kidney stones.
I bought that for the clinic. It would take hours to look through all the data. I need to zero in on a specific time.
This doesn't seem like the best way to do it.
What?
Oh, maybe it is. Ha ha! We brute forced it, but now I've lost it.
What? What is that? I've never seen anything like that. I wonder if it could have been a power surge. Promising, but it doesn't leave me much data to work with. I'll switch to my older MRI equipment tonight. It should be less sensitive to power spikes.
Interesting.
I've never seen anything like that.
Guess everybody's the same.
Promising.
Okay. I'm betting that was important data to find out at this stage. Oh wait, I have a session 2, don't I? Or was that session 2?
What? I've never seen anything. Whatever
Right,
it is that happened. What?
What was that?
What is that? I've never.
Okay, so we found some evidence of strange brain patterns. Don Sarah Chance, the ghost RNG starts to read. Oh. Man, I'm still thinking about Kid Named Ice Boy. Almost exclusively. Hey, Metalli, good to see you. Those of you who haven't seen Kid Named Ice Boy, you gotta watch the VOD. It's the, maybe the greatest achievement in adventure game design in years. I said maybe. If you want to give me examples of better ones, I mean, arguably they're out there. Hey, Gracie, good to see you. I'm not going to quit talking about how much I love Kid Named Ice Boy. Okay, she physically touched me this morning.
There's been a presence in the house.
Oh, yeah. I've had a ghost hand touch me a few times in the shower, too. I know what that's like. We've all been there. Lasted about 3 seconds. Appointment with Dr. Ramenstein. Check RNG device. Repeat memory exercise for a new session with Lara. Use one of Lara's favorite places for
I
inspiration.
arranged to see Dr. Ramuskin today. I'm hoping he'll have some insight into the events with Laura. I arranged to... There's been a presence in the house.
Ooh, it's almost Christmas.
There's been a presence in the house.
Under the tree. Left there by St. Nick, no doubt.
I arranged to see Dr. Ramuskin today. I'm hoping he'll have some insight into the events.
Yes, Dr. Ramuskin. Ooh, let's see if we've got any news from the ghost. Pardon me. Oh no. We can see the message the ghost is sending. She's going to accuse David of being impotent. That's not good. Oh no, that's the last thing you want to see as a husband trying to contact his deceased wife. Hey Grayson, thank you for the watch streak. Yeah, no, that's good. Look, yeah. I'm slightly allergic to ghosts. This is absolutely true. I'm just allergic to being alive, really. I've come to this conclusion.
It's old.
I just sneeze all day, every day. I probably sneeze like 50 times a day.
It's a scanner.
I went to grad school with a guy who had photosensitive sneezing. Every time he would step out into like bright sunlight, it would cause him to sneeze, which is apparently a thing.
I don't need to make a new video log
And it was
right
absolutely
now,
wild.
but I want to review the ones that are on my computer.
And that's not even the wildest thing about him. His dad was former pro football player turned WWF wrestler, Big Jim Wilson. And somehow I knew this guy for like 2 years before he mentioned his dad was an NFL player / pro wrestler. If I had an interesting story like that to tell, I wouldn't make it 30 seconds into any conversation before it came up. Absolutely, that would just be everywhere. Oh, wow, Metal, you have the photosensitive sneezing. Interesting. Hey, Grub Junker. Now, Metal, you're not related to any pro wrestlers that you know of, in all fairness. This is our cool experiment reports.
Laura's presence in the house has continued. I've decided to begin a new experiment to study the effects
Yeah, I
of
think we've already seen
Laura's
this, haven't
presence
we?
in Laura's presence in the
Yeah, I think we have. Yeah, we probably don't need to do anything there right now. So we need to check
I
the...
can't go in there now.
Need to check the RNG. Make sure I don't need to click on that for it to consider checked.
What is it, Laura? Keep going, darling. Give me a few more letters.
Telling you don't want to go down this road. I'm possibly seeing other guys in heaven right now. Maybe it'll say impossible to contact the dead.
I can't go.
Check our progress. Oh, wow, we're making some. A day in the rowboat. Rowboat. Here we go. It's going to be an exciting week around here. You know, this is, of course, as I record this, it's Thanksgiving week. I'm recording it on Monday, and I'm going to have my wife's entire family here. I think there are going to be 18 people in our home for Thanksgiving. It's going to be an exciting time around here. I will be hiding under my weighted blanket in the bedroom.
Timmins Park. Laura loved the place. Might be a good spot to try to recreate a memory today. Surely it won't be crowded on a dreary weekday.
Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Are there even 18 people on Earth? We're about to find out. 4 of them are children under 5. So that's going to be exciting. I mean, on the one hand, it's a great chance for Uncle Jess to make an appearance, and Uncle Jess is a good time kind of guy, so that'll be fun. But at the same time, boy, that's a lot of people in my house, my ding dang house.
Dr. Stiles.
Oh, hey.
It's very good to meet you.
Sorry to disturb you.
It's an honor. I remember when your Scientific American article came out, my colleagues and I were thrilled to see such open-mindedness in a leading neurobiologist.
As you can see, things have deteriorated since then.
Please, come inside.
As you can
On
see,
the
I've
phone,
taken
it's
to wearing a
already
Phantom
problem.
of the Opera mask. She's got that power strip situation down there. The surge protectors are going wild.
One thing you learn as a neurobiologist is that reality is subjective. Like the story of the blind man and the elephant. One of my patients had a brain tumor and became convinced his wife was an alien in disguise. Everyone else saw an everyday housewife. He saw something horrible. What clues do we pick up from our environment every day that tell us how to perceive the world? One man sees a pile of logs, another a sleeping giant.
Perception is a slippery thing.
Yes.
My wife, Laura, died
My
in
wife.
2002. But the reality I chose was to keep her alive. In my mind and in my heart. I started experiments in an isolation tank to bring back as many memories of her as possible.
Don't talk about this with
Even
other
the
people,
small,
David.
subtle ones. And I didn't give a toss what anyone thought.
And now?
I don't give a toss either.
The thing I didn't foresee was that Laura might actually come back.
I've suddenly got quite a chill. Perhaps you'll start from the beginning while I light the fire.
No
Look at
fire,
that big book.
please.
That's a big book.
Oh, please forgive me. I'll call for some tea. I'm quite anxious to hear what you have to say, Dr. Stiles. If you'd start at the beginning, please.
Do you think
It
David might
sounds
be part
fascinating.
Frankenstein now? Is that why he's afraid of
I've never
fire?
performed any experiments with an isolation tank myself, but they may well concentrate certain energies. I'd be happy to help in any way I can. And I'd be very interested in your theories on the phenomenon as a neurobiologist, if you'd be so kind.
Good to see you, Clil. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody.
Is there any connection between psi activity and heat or fire?
Yes. Telekinesis in particular is very elemental.
Makes sense. You'd have to
There's a
accelerate
classic
molecules to
poltergeist
engage in
case that
telekinesis.
involved a young girl in the American heartland. The manifestations in her household all revolved around water. Water running down the walls of the house, seeping out of the wallpaper, and welling up from the floors. Another classic telekinesis phenomenon is raining stones. And I recall reading
Very
about a
radical.
shaman in East Africa who could make his victims burst into flames. It would all suggest that telekinetic powers are drawn from the earth. But I'm not aware of any studies done on the subject.
Man, this guy's got the biggest dialogue tree in the game so far.
Have you heard of any similar hauntings, for lack of a better word?
Some of the elements, such as the way Laura communicated with you in the tank and the RNG message, these sound like classic
RNG
communiques
message.
from the spirit world. But other things you've described, the moved nightgown, the form under the sheets, and most particularly the events at the university, those
The only
sound
explanation
like
is you're
PK
being
activity.
punked.
Telekinesis. Objects being moved with the power of the mind. Are
Mind
you positive
bullets.
all these manifestations are Laura?
Of course. One paranormal source is remarkable enough, much less two different
That's right.
ones. Don't you agree?
You have a point.
It would be insane to suggest there are two ghosts playing around here. Fire isn't even an element of process. I mean, yeah, it's a chemical reaction, right? With all those exothermics going on.
Can you tell me more about the East African shaman?
I'll tell you what I remember. It's a well-documented case from the early 1900s, researched by a member of the Society for Psychical Research. He
Psychical?
was traveling in Africa when he ran across this shaman. He put the man through a variety of tests and reached the conclusion that the shaman was projecting electricity at strong enough levels to literally start fires. Predictably, and
Literally,
reliably.
predictably, and
This notion
reliably?
seemed confirmed by the odd fact that when the shaman was wet, his fire-starting ability didn't work. Of course, in those days, experiments in electricity were all the rage, so you have to take that into consideration. Still, he made a compelling case.
Adverbally. That's exactly right.
In cases that you're familiar with of hauntings, is it typical for the deceased to obsess over their deaths?
I'd say so, particularly if it was violent.
Laura keeps communicating about the accident, but I'm not sure if there's really something there or if she's just fixated on that moment out of shock.
I know you'll leave no stone unturned finding out. If there's nothing to it, it will be clear soon enough.
Yes, of course.
I'm kind of hoping it turns out not to be a haunting. That would probably be the least interesting direction this could go. Or at least it'd be a direction that if it went there, David would seem kind of foolish in hindsight. Oh, he's face palming right now, just the idea of me talking about this. But yeah, it would be kind of funny. It was just like, nah, that's just somebody pranking you, dude.
I'm wondering if the events on campus aren't some kind of psychic residue from Laura's attempts to come through. If she's generating energy, it might get channeled in unpredictable ways.
I can't say, of course. But the energy involved in the campus events is so unusually powerful. It's unlike any spiritual communication I've ever heard of.
But you said yourself you've never dealt with a case that involved an isolation tank.
True. I'm quite curious to see where this is all heading, Dr. Stiles.
Well, David can't quit bragging about having an isolation tank, can he? Good for you. Hope you're proud.
Studies done with dying and comatose patients have provided some interesting clues about consciousness. There are authenticated cases of the mind projecting itself from the body, witnessing things that occurred far away. If the mind can project itself from the body, then it's possible for consciousness to survive physical death.
Absolutely.
Do you have a
that
scientific
seals
explanation
it.
for how that might work?
Quantum theory suggests that three-dimensional space and time are essentially created by the brain in order to organize the masses of data that make up reality. The brain operates like a translation device, in the same way that a television set organizes bits of electronic data into an image. If the human brain creates space and time, then theoretically the brain could project the mind into the past or future, making itself essentially immortal.
That's established
That's
science.
astonishing. I hope you intend to publish on this theory.
I'm still conducting my research.
Clearly, you say some of this isn't accurate?
Thank you for your expertise.
Quantum mind pseudoscience, exactly.
There's one more thing. I was hoping you could give me some advice on how I might help Laura. Help her come through.
Dr. Stiles, I'm not sure what you mean by coming through. Earthbound spirits are trapped here because of some unresolved trauma
Again, established
or an
science.
inability to accept their own deaths. The goal in such a scenario is to free the spirit so that he or she can move on.
Move on? To what? Oblivion? I mean, what if Laura could be brought back?
But what body would she inhabit? How could she interact with our world? All religions believe that there is some kind of afterlife, and
We need
Yes,
a corpse,
thank you,
you say.
I'm afraid it's getting quite late. I must go.
I do hope you'll keep in touch. I'd like to know how this develops.
Of course. Good
I
day.
like the idea that David,
Goodbye.
like the minute he starts talking about maybe it's a religious concept, he's like, no, that makes no sense. This is all pseudoscience. You understand? It's quantum brain science, not, I don't want to hear any of your poppycock explanations of an afterlife explaining why my wife's ghost is haunting my house. That makes no sense. Do you realize how foolish you sound right now?
Look, Mummy, it's a monster.
Shh, sweetheart.
Oh, man. I've seen that happen to Ben Grimm so many times. You hate to see it happen to poor David Stiles.
There's nothing on the park schedule for today. Good, that means fewer people.
Oh, pretty. Let's see if we can get some sense memories.
I don't think that sitting on this bench could trigger any particular memory. I should try something else.
Ah, it's the tree. The tree she loved. Ah,
This carving means nothing to me. It won't help me with Laura.
O'Neill?
This carving... Just a carving in the tree. Doesn't remind me of anything.
I wonder if there's a good tree around here somewhere.
I remember the park, but it's quite vague. Where should I go? The main track is down there.
Werewolf?
Hey, Mattel, do you think this could be werewolf country? I mean, it wouldn't shock me if we encountered a werewolf. Uh-oh, this is the
tree.
one.
I carved our initials here on a summer day.
Thank you, Mattel. Let me just take in these senses. That's touch. We've done it. Here we go. Let's brood for a moment. I think I've mentioned before, one time I went to the Museum of Art in the Museum of Modern Art in Cincinnati, and they had an exhibit that was like radical eco-critique art. And in one of the rooms, they just had like a filmed piece about a guy who was like practicing. I think it was a protest against against just sort of modernity in general. But it was just a video of some guy like really getting intimate with a series of different trees. Like, so much so that there had to be a little sign outside that said that you had to be 18 or over to view the piece. And that the beginning of that had a little bit of those vibes. But
Apples.
it was an interesting piece of performance art.
I always thought we'd bring our own children here someday. Things change.
Now I have no choice but to take someone else's child.
That little girl called me a monster. Smart kid.
Man, don't get down.
I always thought we'd bring our own children here someday.
Yes, dendrophilia, that's the stuff.
I never understood why they put these statues near a playground. I guess you're never too young for art appreciation.
Activity modules is a fun thing to call playground equipment.
Ice cream. Laura's favorite was orange flavored.
I will have one of your iced creams, please.
I want one of those orange-flavored lollies you used to sell. There was vanilla inside.
David wants a lolly.
That's it.
It's like, look, buddy, that's one of my favorite pictures of the Monster Manual, too. But keep it under control.
Don't you like want your change?
As a kid, I was a big fan of the illustration of Bast from the Deities and Demigods
I never understood why
AD&D
they put
book.
these statues near a playground. I guess you're never too young for art appreciation.
Okay, let's see here. Let's go to the gardenia garden. Gardenias are my favorite scent.
That's a gardenia bush. Laura would place one in her hair if we came here. There are no blossoms on that bush, unfortunately. There's a gardenia in bloom. Laura would place one in her hair if we came here.
Yes, I did have the version of Deities. Or was mine Legends and Lore at the time? I think it was Legends and Lore still. I think it was the title. I can't remember. But mine did have the Lovecraftian gods. It also had, I think, like the Grey Mouser stuff, which they were later forced to remove, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was that edition.
Flower might jog some memories.
I loved that thing. I read that cover to cover.
That flower, sir?
It was absolutely my first
And how would that
exposure to
change your
anything
day?
Rules is rules, sir.
Cthulhu-y.
Flowers are here for everyone's enjoyment, not picking.
Listen, I need that flower. I'll pay for it if necessary.
You'll pay, all right. The fine's £2,000.
What kind of nanny state is this?
Hello? Hey, don't take that.
Damn it. She's run off with the gardenia
I
I
had to
need.
throw a shoe at her or something. That's the big collector's item now. Oh, no. Yeah, just two scoundrels getting into scrapes is a good starting point for adventure, isn't it?
Laura loved that fountain. We sat on that bench for hours. Laura was the only person who could ever convince me to relax. Laura loved that. We sat on that bench for hours.
Well, if you love it so much, why doesn't it trigger a cutscene? I'm dubious. Well, there's a lot of park here. A lot of screens. Hey, Villainy, good to see you. This game evokes that sort of vibe. Everyone be sure to go follow Villainy. Fun streamer. Our schedules seldom sync up, so I have trouble dropping in, but always a pleasure when I can get over there and lurk a bit. $3 a.m. Oh my goodness. I'm glad you could join us. Lurk away. I won't bother you anymore. It's 3 a.m. and I must be lonely.
What game are you playing? It looks like fun. Cat got your tongue?
It's me, a monster.
That's a lovely flower. Did you get it here in the park? Can I see it? What's your name? Mine's David. You can tell me. Is it Elizabeth?
Is it Elizabeth?
Anne?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Mom, a creepy man in a mask is talking to me in the sand pit.
My mask is scary looking, isn't it?
You should see what's underneath.
It's something like a bandage.
Just going out here awkwardly. He's got bad knees. I know how this feels. It's hard to stand up. So, no, wait. Big stranger danger here.
You've got an owie.
That's right. A big owie.
How did you get it?
That's rather a long story, I'm afraid.
I'd be happy to tell you. I love brooding.
Do you like ice cream? Maybe I could trade you an ice cream for your flower.
My mum wouldn't like it. I scraped my knee once and got an owie. How do you wash your face?
What about if I give you a new shiny pound?
It's very awkward.
Do you know any tricks? How do you wash your face?
I can take the mask off when I need to.
Will you take it off now?
No, sweetheart. I can't do that.
Is this a fever dream? Possibly? Possibly?
What's your name?
Where did you get that mask?
I had someone make it.
Why?
Why, mister?
Because I couldn't find one I liked.
And this one reminded me of the Phantom of the Opera.
Will you show me your flower?
How did you get your owie?
It was a fire.
Did it hurt?
Yes.
Yes. Is he trying to get put in jail? It seems like it. Let me just turn and walk away now.
Laura, I can't do it. I can't get that flower. Ow!
Oh, man. He's got Newtoned. A classic Newtoning. He wants me to throw an apple at her. I get it. Classic puzzle solution. Throw an apple at the baby.
You mentioned tricks. A beautiful princess I once knew taught me how to do this.
I'll be a scarf
What?
3 apples super fast. I hope that's the trick. Now throw one at her head and grab the flower.
Higher, do it higher.
Shall I? All right. Watch this.
What?
Rebecca!
Haha, now I know your name.
I was just showing her a trick.
Uh-oh. Don't you ever speak to me or my daughter again.
Well, that was pleasant.
Your mom's the worst, kid.
Mummy! 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 Oh, let me go back and see the man. I like him.
Why don't you come back to my creepy manor? Yeah, I can't believe that mom didn't give us a piece of her mind. We're not gonna... Oh, here we go. Hubba hubba. No, I'm here for it. Gardenia's probably my favorite scent. I get it. Very memorable, very fresh, very springtimey. And these David chapters are a trip. Just an absolute trip.
Laura, we sat on that bench.
So we seem to have touch and smell. and taste. I did get. Oh, wait, I actually need to lick that. We do, Clill. We have chapters with this jerk and then better chapters with our other protagonist. Kind of looks like Elvis there. Okay. So let's see. That's touch, smell, and taste. I guess we need to get sight and hearing. We need a sound. Oh, an accordion player. That's a sound. That's a sound if I've ever heard one.
I recognize him. He's been in this park for years.
This is at least the second adventure game I've seen where you have to gather 5 senses. Yeah, one like everybody knows, I'm a Disney fan. I go to Disney World like at least once a year for the last few years with my daughter and wife. And at Epcot, they have Journey into Imagination with their dragon mascot Figment. And the whole thing is themed around this idea of like it's an experience of the 5 senses. But it gets you through sight and sound, and it gets you through, let's see, touch, I believe. No, smell. But then it just like powers past touch and taste, and the whole ride just like skips those sections, and it's just like, oh, those are hard to do, so we just won't do those two. It's like, wow. Why build a ride around the 5 senses if you can't deliver all 5 senses?
I have a request. There's an old Italian song you used to play. Santa Lucia.
Grazie. I know you. You used to come here with your wife.
Bellissima.
Yes.
She's not with you today?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Will you play it?
It would be my pleasure.
Truly one of the best parts of Space Quest is seeing what you can put your tongue on. Absolutely. And one of the best parts of life, really. Now, if you'll pardon me, I'm going to have a lucid transcendental dream. We'll go into a fugue state for a moment as my neurons light up. Here I go. Wait. That wasn't what I needed to hear? That didn't unlock all of my awesome senses? Seems unlikely.
£3 an hour. Lucrative bit.
I have to rent the boat before I can take it out.
Says you. Playing a census taker. Oh no, Kevin.
I'd like to rent a punt, please.
£3, you can take number 12.
No safety lecture. I've read my fair share of little boats to glide across ponds on. There's always more to it than that. The sea was angry that day.
We're being utter slugs today. The sun feels amazing.
Some of us are more slug-like than others.
You're such a curmudgeon.
I was referring to myself, of course.
What's your schedule this week, darling?
The usual. Nothing earth-shattering.
Science.
Good.
Not mad yet.
I was thinking we might go to the cottage this weekend.
We could leave Friday.
In my car.
We're being utter slugs today. The sun feels amazing.
Some of us are more slug-like than others. I'd love to go to the cottage this weekend. I might be able to arrange it so we can leave Thursday night.
In my car.
21st October.
I'd love to go to the cottage this weekend. I might be able to arrange it so we can leave Thursday night.
In my
The
crash-proof
sun
car.
feels amazing.
Oh no. Oh no.
A student, David. 21st October.
It's me, a ghost. Only way to live in cars. Doo-doo. Okay, a day in the rowboat. Sign the mind. What happened the day before? Okay, so I'm guessing, is that everything we need to do here? Let's look at our map. Yes, we've completed Timmins Park. We've done it, gang. It must be extra hard to lose a wife when it's an ethereally beautiful blonde woman. That's absolutely right. I mean, I don't want to say which kinds of wives would be easier and harder to lose, but I think there's no doubt that an ethereally beautiful blonde woman would be the hardest to lose. That's the kind you're really going to end up brooding over. Saw Gary Newman in concert a couple of months back. Oh my goodness. It's awesome that he's still touring. It's been a few years since I've been to a concert. My last one was a Paul McCartney concert, though, so that's not a bad one to end it on. I think I may have mentioned on stream that I looked into like surprising my daughter with Chapel Roan tickets. She's a big fan. And I think that when I looked it up, the cheapest ticket I could find was like $18,000 a ticket or something ridiculous like that. It's like, yeah, you know what? Probably we just won't go to that show after all. I don't know if I'm as excited about it as I thought I was. I just need to hop in, don't I? Just hop on in.
I can't go in there now.
I can't? I wonder what I need to do then. Just similar voices there. Interesting. Repeat memory exercise for a new session with Lara. So, we've done everything at the park, presumably. Not sure what Sigh in the Mind was. I guess that was visiting the doctor. What happened the day before? I wonder what that is. It looks like this is the only place we can be right now.
I'm not sure what Laura's trying to say. I'm not sure.
Do not resuscitate. Zot! Politically correct. Been to one concert and that was the Village People. How was that? You said your goodbyes the night before.
I don't need to look anything.
Says you.
I'm no longer tripping over files.
Fantastic once they got to the songs people know. I'm just there for In the Navy. I really want this room to eventually yield something interesting. But this has been an underwhelming room up to this point. I know I'm getting old because I've reached a point in my life where the hassle of going to a concert starts to feel like it outweighs the concert experience. It's like, I'm gonna have to like sit in traffic getting out of there. I don't know. It's gonna be late. I don't want to get back at like 10 p.m. Like all those sorts of things eventually start. Maybe things like, I don't really need to go to a concert. And also, you know, I've seen the Spice Girls live, and it's all going to be downhill from there. Once you've seen the best in concert,
Laura.
It's really hard to live up to it. Hey, Paul. Whoa, wait, Clell, you went to a live taping of the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend finale that was also a concert? That's quite a story. When I saw the Spice Girls, it was literally like a week and a half after Jerry Halliwell, Ginger Spice, had quit the group. And all of their tour package still featured her. So like she was everywhere on all the promotional stuff and everything. And even better, she was still on like the Jumbotron sequences that played like behind them during their numbers. And her backing vocals were still in all the songs. So like her guide track was still there. It was like, and there were holes for her in all the choreography. That was the best bit. Like when all 5 Spice Girls would line up in a row and do a little bit of choreography, there's just like a gap right in the middle where Ginger was supposed to be. It was funny watching this band at like the height of their global popularity try to cope with the fact that they had lost arguably their highest profile member. And now they're just having to work their way around it. I need to go in there. I'm convinced there's nothing of interest there.
Hello.
Hello.
Everything all right?
Fine, thanks.
Had 2 tapings and show both section TV. Technically not a finale. Oh. Must have been like Take That on Tour Without Robbie. Yeah, that exactly. Same vibe. Very awkward. What in the world am I supposed to be doing at this point? Weird Al had a show near here when he was doing his recent tour that played a lot of B-sides and non-parodies. I kind of wish I'd gone to it. I heard that was a fun tour. I think my daughter would have loved it. Her favorite song, or one of her favorite songs, probably top 10, is Dare to Be Stupid.
I bought that for the clinic. I don't...
A few summers ago, my daughter was in a summer camp, and I had to drive her like 45 minutes each way to and from summer camp every day. And as part of the drive to and fro, I instituted a plan that I called New Wave Summer, where I spent the entire summer attempting to introduce her to new wave music and see if I could trick her into becoming a fan of said new wave music. And among that, Dare to Be Stupid as a Devo pastiche certainly entered into our discussion, and I think it worked. Operation New Wave Trap. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I've heard that Mark Mothersbaugh said that that Dare to Be Stupid may have been the best Devo song ever recorded, and they were just jealous they weren't the ones to record it. Hey, there's a link to the new podcast I host with my pal Ben. Be sure to check that one out. Available everywhere. What does this game want me to do?
Laura.
Like when he looks at the dead roses, he just like very coldly says, Laura. Oh, wait. What have we here?
I suffered some memory loss around the time of the accident. The appointment book isn't helping. But if something unusual happened, perhaps I mentioned it at dinner.
If I did, Simon Helborn might remember.
I suffered some but
if I did...
Let's see if Simon Helborn can help us. We have his number up here. I want to say it's 540-555-6660. Let's see if that's right. I don't think it's going to be. Or maybe I just pick up the phone.
No,
I bet that's all I really need to do.
Simon's business card.
Oh, I had some of the numbers right, but others not. 0450 6665. 0450. Watch this. He's just going to pick it up and dial it. I'm not going to have to put in a number.
Hello,
Yes,
David
give me Simon.
Speaking. Fine, thanks, Veronica. Is Simon available this afternoon? It's urgent.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, Pickle Dog, we did do the park. We wrapped up the park completely, I believe. We've done Timmons Park. We've visited the parapsychologist. And now, wow, get a load of this place. Goodness gracious, what a beautiful
David.
screen.
I couldn't believe it when my secretary said you were here. How are you?
Simon, I need your help.
I've offered it 1,000,000 times. Anything.
We had dinner the night before the accident. Amanda, Laura, you and I. Do you remember?
Of course I remember. That was the last time we saw Laura.
Well, I don't. I can't remember anything from that day.
It was
It's
probably
not
the accident.
unusual for trauma to cause memory loss.
Yes, I know. Do you remember what I talked about at dinner? Did I mention any of my students?
Not that I recall. Why?
Well, my
What's this
ghost
about?
showed up at the lake today.
What about Amanda? She might remember something.
If it's really important, I could try hypnosis. I've had pretty good success helping patients recover memories.
I didn't think about that. Can we do it now?
If you like. Lie down on the couch.
I love it. I love it. This is good.
All right, David. I'm going to have you relax.
I wonder if this was made at the
and
same
completely
engine as the
relax.
Gabriel Knight game, the
Let go.
remaster.
You're waking up now. Slowly waking up. And it's the morning of October the 21st. You get out of bed. What's the first thing you do?
Open my eyes. I mean, I'm going to be realistic
I
here.
ate breakfast at the house.
What did you have?
I can't remember. That's not right. I took a shower.
What did you think about in the shower?
I was in a foul mood. I don't know why.
You showered and got dressed. What did you do after that? Did you have breakfast?
I skipped breakfast. I must have gone straight to university. No, I'm not getting anything.
It's all right, let's back up.
Oh, wow. Look, this is how hypnosis does
I had
work.
breakfast with Headley, my dean.
Where was this? At Dreadhill House? A coffee shop? The university?
We ate at Christchurch Hall. Nothing's coming up.
Take your time.
We ate at the house. No.
Maybe a
we
coffee
ate at
shop?
a coffee shop in Oxford.
David, don't let it upset you so. The only people who read that journal are the most conservative scientists. People like Linkweller himself. And they already dislike you. Well, it's true. Original thinkers are bound to have their critics. Don't let it discourage you.
I remember. Linkweller's rebuttal had just come out the day before. That's why I was upset and why I had breakfast with Headley.
Right. You mentioned that at dinner.
That's Hetty.
Now we're both remembering. Very good, David. Now you're leaving the coffee shop. What did you do next? Did you have classes that day?
As the infant matures, we see that connections that will last a lifetime are vital message passageways.
Terrible
that carry-
teacher.
Yes. It was a lecture.
On what subject?
On tiny babies.
Neural connectivity in infants. Yes, I'm sure that was it.
Did anything happen during the lecture? Anything to do with the student?
A single brain network can involve billions of neurons. Multiply that by... Yes?
Ah, so you're suggesting I could levitate or see through women's clothing if only I'd needed to do it when I was 3 months old? Wow. How about teleporting to Mars?
Thanks, Dr. Manhattan.
I don't know about those particular skills, Andrews, but one skill you apparently needed at 3 months in was the ability to pointlessly interrupt. As I was saying, despite the
Sick burn.
extraordinary number of neural connections that we do form, there are still... There was something... One of Linkweller's cronies. I was annoyed, humiliated by the time I left class.
It's all right. Try to remember the emotion.
Got his ass, that's right.
What did you do after class?
Well, no self-respecting professor would actually go to office hours. I went for a walk.
That's not bringing up... I must have had another... No.
No, what?
I had
Office hours? Really?
There's something... I'm feeling very anxious.
Take a deep breath. This is just a memory. It's not real. Try to watch it impersonally.
There's someone at the door.
You don't have to continue.
No, I do. I said...
Come in.
Enter.
Oh, no. It's a gray alien. A graylien.
Yes? What can I do for you?
Who is it?
I only see a figure. A wild figure.
Is it a student?
I think so.
You know, the good news is no one ever comes into my office. It's so funny. My university's really pushing the idea that, like, they want us to be closer to 9 to 5 workers. So they feel like they're getting their money's worth out of paying us and really would like us to be there like 40 hours a week. So they've tried instituting like a 10-hour a week office hour policy. And I'm not joking when I say over the course of a semester with 10 hours a week of office hours that I maybe have 2 students come to see me the entire semester. It's wild stuff. It's just such an absolute waste of time.
Female. It was a female.
All right, very good. Relax. There was a female student standing in your office, and she said...
I'm Dr. Stiles. What do you want?
I read your article.
There are some ASMR vibes, aren't
this
there?
Thing, this power.
Oh, and what power might that be? Outbound flight to Mars?
I thought you could help me. You were the only one who would understand.
Yes, well, apparently not. It's been very amusing. You may leave at any time.
That was Moira from Overwatch. She's just phase shifted out of the room.
David, are you all right?
Oh, my God. I thought it was a prank. Laura, she remembered.
Laura, what are you talking about? What has this student got to do with anything?
I can't explain. Thanks for the help.
But
I
David...
can't explain either, honestly. And we're out. Maybe now it's tank time? Time for a little soak in the old tank? I bet so. Actually reading a novel set in a British university. Not Oxford, though. You know, My favorite academic novel of all time is Straight Man by Richard Russo. Recently adapted into a fantastic TV series, Lucky Hank, but the novel's much better. If anyone out there is looking for a terrific academic novel, check out Straight Man by Richard Russo. Oh, it's called Lucky Jim. Okay. I wonder if that's the inspiration for the Lucky Hank title in Straight Man.
I can't go in there now.
Can't you, though?
I suffered some memory loss, but if something unusual...
If I did...
I don't need to make a new video log right now. It's a scanner.
Yeah, it's a great Bob Odenkirk performance. Really good stuff. There's one scene where he's having a conversation with his wife and talking about how he may get fired from his job as a tenured faculty member. And she stops him in the middle of the conversation and points out that he's actually smiling at the thought of getting fired, which I think is the most accurate insight into the mind of an academic I've ever seen. In a world where we all feel somewhat trapped in what are ultimately pretty cushy jobs, but knowing that the nature of tenure and the nature of the job market means we can never get out. And we, I can imagine that. At least sometimes I fantasize about how fun it would be to be fired, which would actually be awful. It'd be terrible in every way. But I think every academic just thinks about it. Such a weird job, such a weird profession.
I can't go in there now.
I wonder what else I need to do at this stage. It's like purgatory with benefits. I mean, it really is. It's like purgatory. They aren't even asking you to like roll a boulder up a hill or anything. Like, it is minimal effort purgatory. Different career field, but similarly trapped. Yeah. I mean, I'd be a fool to like leave my job, and certainly attempt to be met with lots of rejection, and boy, my fragile ego can't handle that. Whew, laid off every 2 years. I don't know how you do it. God bless you. It's a tough industry.
Laura's presence in the house has continued. I've decided to begin a new experiment to study the effects of imagination. I'll use students as subjects and my fMRI.
My freaking
my
MRI.
hope is to record data on the areas of the brain involved in detailed visualizations. Perhaps using biofeedback, I can train myself to stimulate the same area in my own brain and thus increase the power of my sessions in the tank. This may, in turn, give more energy to Laura.
I mean, that's the real tragedy, you know. Right after the release of Kid Named Ice Boy, Grayson actually got laid off from Girl Goofs Off. It was really really tragic, but you know, the game literally sold $0 in its first week of release. So I don't know how you come back from that, really. Sorry. Offered 2 months severance, no health insurance. Yeah, I mean, we're restructuring the team for the next release. We'd like to make the Kid Named Ice Boy series an annual franchise, possibly with a battle pass. We haven't worked out all the details on that yet. How fun would it be just to make the most mercenary Codename Iceman prequel series? It's like, would you like to get like a special Stars and Stripes skin for JW? A sub model, that's right. I mean, I'd pay. I mean, that's the thing, Living Runs. I say that out loud. I'm like, gosh, wouldn't that be exploitive? But it's like, well, I want the whole Kid Named Ice Boy experience, so I'm going to pay for it. I mean, I don't want to be left out, especially if other people are really enjoying it. A slightly rocky version of the salute. Kid Named Ice Boy commits the ultimate video game sin, which is mixing politics with video games. I don't know how I feel about that. Don't know if I want to say anything about that.
Laura. The balcony that overlooks the back garden.
You have a whole garden you haven't used since she left? I guess a garden is just a yard here in the UK, right? See, this is when you get down to the Jane Jensen of it all. Like, I feel like I've done most of what I need to do. Maybe I need to go play at the MRI machine again? Oh, no. A Yarden. A Yarden. Yeah, let's go play at the MRI machine. Let's lightly jog down there. I've got to finish this new game before my new computer arrives because I'm almost certain there will be no way to transfer easily a saved game from this strange entertainment product to a new computer. We did see the brain results. We got the all red brains. Maybe I need to examine them a second time now that I've found out more?
I don't need to look at it.
No, I don't even think I can interact with the computer, or can I? Perhaps I can.
What? I've never seen anything like that. Promising, but it doesn't leave me much. These beds are a tad intimidating, I suppose. I've
Just
been down
a
here
little.
so long, I forget what it might look like to an
Yeah,
outsider.
strapping people down with like brainwave things on their head could be a little scary to people who don't
I
quite know
bought
what
that
you're
for the
doing.
clinic.
So what's next? All we have to do is the second half of the experiment. We've actually got all the bonuses this chapter. What has to happen for the experiment to go forward? If anyone has a nudge, I will happily accept a nudge. My map suggests whatever's here is here at Dread Hill House. Let's go to the kitchen, maybe. I've been there in a little while.
David, can I get you something?
No, I'm fine.
No. Wait, we can talk to Mrs. Dalton? Maybe this is it.
Have you seen Samantha? I need to speak with her.
No. She's probably at Oxford.
Why is she never around when a person bloody well needs her?
It's a
What are
great
you
question.
looking at? I'm paying her salary, aren't I?
I never said a word. I did notice that you've gone out quite a lot today. You mustn't overdo it. See how it upsets you? And with Sam in the house and
Other things.
other things. You mustn't push too hard.
I don't plan to make a habit of it.
Oh, here we go. We did. We just had to speak to our housekeeper for some reason to move forward.
Is that the new electroshockometer? Nice.
Anybody know the whereabouts of Miss Everett?
Little Miss All for One and One for All. She's done a disappearing act.
Sam does seem a little unreliable.
I'm sure she has a good reason. She went to enough trouble to get us here tonight.
Never mind, we'll proceed without her.
He has calipers. There you go.
Close your eyes.
Boy, this is going to be bad data if you lose a subject in one of the trials. Does no one think about bad data? So we laid a trap for a ghost last time. I really like the graphic novel style cutscenes. She's get clocked in the head with a flying weight. I hope not. Oh no. That'll give you a headache. Curious. That's not what you want to see. Curious. End of chapter?
Samantha!
We've done it. We've ended another chapter. It's a miracle. I can't believe this.
I found that in my bed this morning. If that rabbit's not careful, he's going to end up as a pair of bunny slippers.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. He must really like you. He's never gotten in bed with anyone but me before. He's not that kind of rabbit.
He's not going to be any kind of a rabbit if he does it again. And you? Where were you last night?
You can't ask me that.
I realize that you're not a scientist, Samantha, but there are such principles as test conditions. How on earth can I conduct a valid experiment if I can't even keep something as basic as the test subjects the same every night?
I'm sorry. I thought I could get home on time, but I got delayed and...
I mean, how are the other students to take this seriously when you, my assistant, come and go as you please? Do you think... What is that?
What's what?
What a goose egg. Are you all right? What happened?
I'm fine. I fell down some stairs yesterday. I had to sit for a while.
Classic adventure game
That's,
problem.
Why I was late.
Any double vision? Headache?
No, I'm fine, really.
Well, I think we should go to the hospital right away.
Please, I really don't want to do that. I'm fine. Look, is there anything specific you wanted me to do today?
Actually, there was something. How well do you know Angela and Helena?
Not well. Do you have any reason to suspect them?
Yes. But don't ask me what. I don't have time to explain it. I'd like you to research their backgrounds. How long they've been at Oxford, where they were before, and anything else you can find out. And I'd like you to go over to the weight room and see if anyone saw someone lurking about.
Yeah, someone.
Okay.
I think I may have gone through that whole chapter without saving.
And you're not off the hook for last night. Don't do it again.
It was a little risky, but you gotta risk it for the biscuit. You know, that's what we say around here.
You better stay put, Houdini. I think you're running out of chances with the big guy.
All right. Chapter 6. Wow, we're 9 hours into this thing. It is a nice long game so far, which I appreciate. You like to get your money's worth. I'm sure I paid like $4 for this at some point in like a GOG sale or whatever. But for now, I think this is the perfect stopping point. We'll pause there. And then tomorrow night, I'm going back and forth, gang. Adventure Tuesday won't be around. So I do think I'm going to seize the DM and jump in there and stream something tomorrow night. Now I'm bouncing back and forth. I'm either going to stream a little bit more of this one, strong possibility, or I may jump into my next retro adventure, which is going to be Space Quest 6. I'm trying to decide. We have Broom Closet Day coming up later this week. Broom Closet Day, of course, celebrates the November 29th, 1995 launch of my website, The Virtual Broom Closet. So I want to get some Space Questing in there. But should we be early or should we be late with it? I'm going to decide by tomorrow. We'll either play a little bit more Gray Matter and keep powering toward the end of this one, or we'll do a little bit of Space Quest 6. Either way, I hope you can join me. Everybody, have a good evening. Thank you for being here. I had a blast. I hope you enjoyed this. That's a nice quick chapter. Fun stuff in there. That was a little less broody than I guess the last David chapter, so I will take it. But let's see here. Let's see who's online, and we will get a little bit of a raid going on. Oh my goodness. Who is around tonight? What's going on? Ooh. I think I'm a little Teapat is streaming the hit new game. Just judging by the thumbnails here, looks like I'm a little Teapat is streaming Kid Named Ice Boy. You know we got raid on a Kid Named Ice Boy stream. So let's head over there and say hey to I'm a little Teapat. Thank y'all again for joining me. If I don't see you again and you live in the U.S., have a happy Thanksgiving. If you live outside the U.S., you can still have a happy Thanksgiving. Unless it's Canada where they have a specific different Thanksgiving, in which case I'm just afraid you're out of luck. So everybody take care and I'll see you again soon.